My name is Watson.
And my name is Mariah.
We're 12 years old.
And we're representing Old Redford Academy Middle School.
And we're here to talk about drugs.
Drugs are very dangerous and unhealthy.
And they can also ruin a relationship with your loved ones. Go talk to a family member, a friend, even a teacher, or you can go to a therapist, or if you need any extra help, you can go online and find all of those.
Hashtag not worth it.
I'm fabulous. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Expose Under the Sun. We are live and we're streaming from the great city of Highland Park, Michigan. And because we're a live show, you can call in. Our calling numbers are area code 313-868-0342, 313-868-0351, or 313-868-4336. And I'm very proud to have an opportunity to go, and I have two guests on the show today, and they are representing something that a lot of people, they look at Westerns and they see cowboys and cowgirls and Indians, and, you know, they look and they're like, okay, well, let me get into a little bit of the history. You know, they know some of the cowboys, they know some of the cowgirls, they know some of the Indians, but now the thing is that we've got a rodeo that we're going to be talking about today. And I'm fortunate to have two guests. One is actually a cowboy, and his name is Keith Morrell. And I've got the coordinator of the rodeo, then her name is Nicole Scott. And I want to welcome both of you to Expose Under the Sun today.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. And I just want to ask the question, just either one of you, what is a rodeo?
A rodeo is a Western sports event that includes horses, bulls, steers, calves, and men and women.
And now, so I know when I think about a rodeo, the first thing I think about is somebody that goes and, like, you know, rides the the horses that may be kind of wild, and they get on the bulls and they try and grab them by the, you know, by their horns and try and wrestle them down to the ground.
Well, it started out as a competition between major ranches after the cowboys did their daily chores. So they would bet and, like, do jackpots. And they would say, well, my guy can beat your guy riding bucking horses. And the contest would begin that way, and that's how they started rodeo.
So it was a competition between two neighboring ranches.
Yes.
That may decide that my cowboy can beat yours at doing certain things.
Yes.
So now, one of the things I know when I was growing up, I could never do, and that was twirl the lariat. I could never do that. As a child, as a kid growing up, all the time, I would always go and take a piece of rope and tie it at the end and always try and twirl it around, but I think all I did was just beat up the dirt when I was trying to twirl it around.
Yourself.
Is that something that you do?
Yes. I used to compete. I'm retired now, and I competed in four events when I competed. I competed in bull riding, steer wrestling, calf roping, and in the very beginning I rode bucking horses, but I got smart and quit doing that.
So what age, Keith, did you start riding horses?
I started riding horses professionally at age 14.
At 14?
Yeah, but they weren't rodeo horses. I started riding reining horses. I started breaking horses for a man that trained horses.
Okay.
So I was the guinea pig. They had the young horses come in. I rode the buck out of them, and then he put the finishing touches on them.
Okay.
So Keith is getting a little technical. For somebody like you and I, bucking and reining horses and all of that stuff.
That's Greek to me.
It's
Right.
Greek.
That's
Yeah, it
Greek
is.
to me.
It's
So
foreign.
now I have Nicole Scott. Now, can you kind of break it down for a lot of us that may not understand some of this terminology? What is the purpose of now it's the Midwest Invitational Rodeo.
Yes, it is the
Tell
Midwest
a little bit
Invitational
about
Rodeo.
that rodeo.
So the Midwest Invitational is a rodeo that we put on. I have two other partners that we came together. They are ranchers, I guess, what I would say, or professional rodeo. This young lady named Carolyn Carter, who's been riding for 35, 40 years. Don't want to say that her age, but and then another, yeah,
okay,
please,
go ahead.
and then another gentleman named Dion Osborne. Dion is I would say, a cattleman. They came together, and they're the back end people, and so they're rodeo people that want to bring a quality show. So it's not a promoting kind of a thing. So then when it came to putting it all together, they called me and said, okay, Nick, so we know the back end. Now we need to know the front end. And so the objective for the Midwest Invitational is to bring a quality show, an affordable show, and is to educate our youth and our people. You know that the cowboys that you saw on television it wasn't really in the history books. That's really not how it happened.
Okay.
So they want to show you, and then it also we want to, I guess, give the youth some sort of pride, so where they know that the cowboy, where the original name cowboy came from, and also too that there's riding scholarships. There's, things that people can do that is actually a profession. You can be a professional cowboy or cowgirl and make money. There's agricultural scholarships. We have Michigan State that's going to be there to hang out with us.
Alumni. Okay. I'm an alumnus from Michigan State.
Please
Okay.
please come and join us. But we have support from Michigan State Rodeo. We also have the support from Michigan State Agricultural Department. So there's scholarships and information that we don't know because it's not anything that here in the city that we really take part of. So we brought Keith because Keith is one of our actual Detroit own. He went to Mumford.
Yes, I
And
did.
so
The Blue Factory.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So we don't know how he got into rodeoing, but that's something I never. Yeah.
Well, that's something that really brings a lot of attention. So now, primarily, then people can get scholarships
They
to
can.
go to
Yeah.
schools like Michigan
my
State.
children did.
Yeah.
My children did. And we have a young lady, Kalila Smith, that also is at Michigan State presently now, that won she was the first black rodeo queen for Michigan State University.
What's her name again?
Kalila Smith.
Kalila Smith.
Yeah, and she'll be at the rodeo Saturday, probably carrying the flag, and I think she's going to compete in 2 events.
Okay.
And then also too, it's 58 years that club was going on.
Yes,
And so
58
for us to
years.
now only have, the first African American that actually has competed and won. So that's exciting.
congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
very exciting.
So,
So now, I know, some people may be familiar with the Bill Pickett rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
What is pretty much like the differences from what you do compared to what they do in their rodeo circuit?
It is not very much difference between that because the staff and we all got our roots from Bill Pickett.
Okay.
The Bill Pickett Rodeo, the Lou Vasant, amazing guy, my uncle. Very excited to continue the dream. He passed away in 2015.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And the staff, the rodeo staff, they wanted to continue and do some other things. We go into markets that they don't actually go into
Oh, okay.
or they've been to before. And it's just, we're a smaller rodeo. We take the things that maybe they may not. It's not very much difference because you'll see the same faces. You'll see the same staff. You'll see the same, pretty much the same. We're still all one big happy family.
Now, you say you're going to some of the rodeo markets that they haven't gone into.
Well, the last time that they were here, I believe, was 20-some years ago, maybe
almost,
1990.
almost 25 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And they have kind of like a niche market already where they've been going to the same place for the past 35 years. And it takes a lot of groundwork and promotional work to go outside those venues that they have already established. So Nikki, with her team of people, Dion and Carolyn, have ventured out to expand the venue. That's why it's Midwest Invitational Rodeo and not Bill Pickett. But like I say, they a lot of the same contestants compete in both associations.
Okay. Now, I know we were talking before the show started, Keith, and tell, what are some of the, or Nicole, you can also chime in as well, what are some of the events that are going to go on at the rodeo?
Okay, they're going to have bull riding, which is the #1 event. That's the
Okay.
big draw. That's where a man gets on a bull with a braided rope, holds on with one hand. They put a flank strap behind the bull, which does not hurt the bull, just like an irritant, like say your underwear a little bit too tight. And you have to stay on for 8 seconds, and the bull tries to buck you off. They score both the rider and the animal.
Okay.
A perfect score would be 100, so they score the bull for 50 and they score the rider for 50. I don't think
How do
anybody-
they score the bull?
Well, bulls are rated on how they buck.
Okay.
Some bulls buck flat, some bulls kick up higher, spin to the left, spin to the right. So the more violently they buck, the higher the score.
The more violently the
They
buck,
buck,
the higher the score is.
Yes, for that particular bull.
So
Because
some
they also-
bulls might buck violently enough to where they'll get a score of a 50.
Yes.
And then the cowboys that are riding those bulls, depending on if they stay on for the 8 seconds.
They get scored too.
But now, I guess my other question is, so if they stay on for the 8 seconds, do they automatically get the 50 points? Or?
No, what happens, there's 2 judges. And,
Okay.
and both judges have the maximum score will be 25 per judge. That's how you get to 50 per cowboy and per the bull. Then you add those scores together. This will give you an accumulation of a possible 100.
Okay, okay.
So that's great to you. Because it's
Yeah,
great to
that
me.
was great
Because
to me.
who would want to
That
do
was-
that?
Right.
Who would want to do that?
And then I'm really
I did
wondering, do you have a lot of women that do that?
Yeah, no.
Not in this circuit. They do have a circuit, cowgirl circuit,
Okay,
which is out west,
Okay.
not east of the Mississippi. And few of those girls do try to ride bulls, but they're at a different level. They're not
I mean,
at that
but
level.
they're riding the same kind of bulls
No,
that
no,
the
no,
men
no,
are
no,
riding.
no.
so
Less aggressive.
I got you. Okay. So what are some of the others? So the bull riding is one of the main ones that people come for.
Right.
What else?
You have steer wrestling, and that was invented by a black cowboy, Bill Pickett.
Okay, Nicole, I guess we're gonna be back. I don't know. You probably know more about that. What is steer wrestling?
Steer wrestling is there's 2 men, 2 horses, and 1 steer.
Okay.
The one guy is the steer wrestler. The other guy is the hazer. The hazer keeps the steer straight.
What did you call him again?
The hazer.
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 Okay.
His job is to keep the steer running straight.
Okay.
And then the bulldog actually rides up, slides off his horse, gets on the bull's back, grabs the horns, and flips him. It's a timed event. Fastest time wins.
Why does your face look like that? Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just thinking that
So
those are kind of Greek to me, but
Yes,
I see
yes.
it on TV, but
Yes.
that's the closest I want to get to it, you know, when I, like from a distance. I'll see it at a rodeo,
Exactly.
but you'd never catch me on one
Exactly.
of those horses like that. What else? What other type of event?
You have girls barrel racing.
You say girls?
Or ladies
Okay.
barrel racing.
The barrel race.
Racing. There's 3 barrels set up in a clover leaf pattern.
Okay.
You can either go to the right first or the left first.
Mm-hmm.
Have to go around each barrel and come back across the timeline, and the fastest time wins. These ladies
So that's a
ride
little
very,
easier.
very
That's a
fast
little
horses.
easier.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Very fast horses.
Now, Nicole, and I'm gonna ask you for some more of the events.
Okay.
But Nicole,
answer.
are there any of these events that you
I'm sorry.
performed or you've aspired to want to perform in? Or
You know, so I have a daughter
okay,
that we started off with riding lessons.
okay,
And I've seen these women do this for 20-some years. And, yeah, no, none of it. None of it. So I handle the front end.
okay.
So I handle the books, I handle the tickets, I handle the promotion. This is gray hair, so I don't do any of that, because you should have seen your face when he was describing some of the stuff. These
Yeah,
ladies
because this
are-
is gray hair. It
Yeah.
probably would be grayer if I thought that
Yeah.
I had to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
you have women here that have competed in barrel racing.
And these women are no joke.
Yeah,
These are-
one rodeo with me and my family.
Is that Stacy?
Gloria,
Oh,
Gloria Turner.
Okay,
My wife competed for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
C.J. Moran. Then my 2 daughters competed in junior and high school rodeo. That's how they got scholarships to go to college, through high school rodeo.
And Stacy.
And Stacy,
Yeah.
last year, actually, I'm blowing my horn if you don't mind.
go ahead.
I trained and sold her a horse that got her to win the Mid-State Championship barrel racing, and she had an injury, but before her horse got hurt, she was sitting 4th in the nation. She was getting ready to qualify for the national championship. But she's back on track. Horse is healthy again. And this coming Friday, before they come to the Midwest Invitational Rodeo, which is Saturday, she's going to Canada to compete.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hope she does well.
And so one of the things that we do as the Midwest Invitational, a lot of these rodeos they're open to us as African Americans, but they really aren't, because originally, we weren't invited to them.
That's correct.
So some of the rodeos that we have, there's some old, like the one in Boley. That one's
All-black
over,
rodeo.
the all-black rodeo, that was almost 100
100
years
years
old.
old, right.
Yeah, and then there's another one that they
Bogey,
have.
Okmulgee, a
Yeah.
couple other ones.
So these are rodeos that were created for African Americans because we weren't invited to the other ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you say you have a daughter.
I do have a
that
daughter.
Also
Rides.
rides.
Yes. And Keith actually helped to train her a little too.
Yeah,
She and Gloria. He
Yeah.
and Gloria.
Give a shout out to your daughter. What's your daughter's name?
My daughter Lindsay.
Okay.
Lindsay Scott, yeah.
And so she likes to.
She likes to ride, but she saw, I think, okay, she's in the room, so we can't really say too much.
Okay.
But I think she saw a couple of ladies hit the wall, or the intensity that they're going at. I mean, they're flying. And so some of the stuff that happened and some of the things that she's seen, and she probably likes the safer side, the side on with her mom, you know. Yeah.
You have-
But she
you
still
have-
rides.
You
She
have to
still
have
will go
a
out and
need
ride.
for speed.
Yeah.
And those horses, most of them are horses off the track, the racetrack, quarter horse racetrack. And those horses can reach up the top end of 45 miles an hour.
Wow.
In an
Okay.
arena that's probably only 100, 150
Feet deep.
Yeah, deep. So you're getting up to the highest speed.
Speed.
And then you have to get this horse to stop.
And turn.
And sometimes stop and turn. But sometimes we've seen things. We've had accidents where girls have actually ran in, and men too, but they've actually run into they want to win. So the intensity is where, and they've ran into the fence and flipped over or whatever, and they're up for the next event. I break a nail and it's over. It's gonna
gotta
be
be
some
cowboy,
smoke in the city.
cowgirl tough.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
What are some of the other events? And then I want you to tell where you're going to be. Well, let's do that first. First, where's the event going to take place at?
So the event is going to take place at the Wayne County Fairgrounds,
Okay.
which a lot of us don't know about. Everyone keeps thinking it's the state fairgrounds. Well, the state fairgrounds is closed. So it is at the Wayne County Fairgrounds, which is off of Belleville Road and 94,
Okay.
diagonal from the Cracker Barrel. Everybody knows where the Cracker Barrel is.
I know it right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is, and it is June 15th. So it is, we're thinking it's the opposite of the Strawberry Festival. So we're hoping that people come in the morning and hang out in Belleville with the Strawberry Festival, and then hang out with us that evening.
Okay. Now, is there a number where if somebody
is a
wanted
number.
to get more information about the rodeo that they could call and get more information about it from?
There is.
Okay.
The number is 313
Okay.
231 6775. So
Say it again.
231 6775, area code 313.
Okay.
Okay.
And now, so tell a little bit about in terms of just give a couple more events real quick that
Keith.
you can kind of that really are the draw. I mean, you said the bull
And
riding
bring
is
it
one.
down to layman's term, Keith, a little bit. Yeah, because we're like, what?
A tie-down calf roping.
Tie down calf roping.
That's a men's
Okay.
event.
You want to
It's a
explain
man
that?
on a horse. Calf gets a 10-foot head start. He has the roping, flipping, tie 3 legs. Fastest time wins.
Now, I've
that's
seen
kind
that.
of- yeah.
Okay, I've seen that.
And that's what
Okay.
you were trying to do with the lanyard.
With,
Right.
with the
Remember,
lariat,
you were trying,
yeah,
lariat, you were
rope.
trying to
Trying to do that with the lariat.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
and
yes.
then you, what they call it? I'm guessing I'm saying the word right. Lassoed,
Yes.
and then they would flip him over and tie
Tie 3 legs.
Three legs
You
together.
got to jump off the horse because
Horse.
you're doing this while you're on a horse.
While you're on the horse.
Yes.
You come off the horse, run down the rope, flank your,
You want to be in
flank
the
your
office
cow,
with me.
Probably.
flank your cow, tie 3 legs.
Okay. And now looking here now, you also got the. Is that the looks like the junior
Breakaway roping.
breakaway roping? What is that?
That's the beginnings of calf roping when you're 14 and under. That's the foundations to calf roping. Basically, it's the same kind of setup, but the children have a rope tied to the end of the rope that's tied to the saddle.
Okay.
They rope the calf. They stop the horse. The calf keeps running. The rope pops off the horn. Time stops.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we also have the relay races. We have groups coming in from all over. We have some teams coming in from Illinois.
Illinois,
We have Indiana. And so what that does is it basically reminds you of the Pony Express. So they're riding around a circuit, which are the barrels, which are the clovers that he was talking about. And they're running around for the fastest time, and then they have to hand off a baton. So it's almost like a track event,
Yes.
Right.
but they're doing it on horseback. And they get crazy. Oh my God, the speed that they get, and they're running around, and then they have to hand it off. They have to slow it down enough to be able to hand off the baton to keep, and they do that for time too.
Is that something your daughter does?
You know, we're gonna get Lindsay on a horse. We will
Okay,
get
so
that.
Lindsay
If
will
I-
get her doing that.
She will get her doing something. Yeah,
I
even
got
if it's just a grand entry where she just comes in and just rides around the arena and just
the
waves
flag
at
and just- I got you. Just to wave the flag around.
Exactly.
Okay.
But she's a little bit better. She'll break a nail. I don't. Yeah, you
So
and
you're
I will
not
stay
ready-
together.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, I'm
that's
not
not
ready.
something we're ready to do.
Yes, no, sir.
Okay, so now, the other thing is that, is there any events that's not indicated on here? Because let me say one other thing that I see when I think about rodeos. The clowns, or what is that what they call them? Am I
Clowns or
saying it right?
bullfighters. These are clowns or bullfighters.
Or bullfighters.
Right.
So they're the ones that when the cowboy gets thrown from the horse or thrown from the steer, then are there women that do that too?
I don't know of any.
no.
Basically, it's a very dangerous job.
Right, every time I see
So
that.
what happens is when you ride bulls, you have the bullfighters, the clowns there to distract the bull to give the cowboy an even chance to get up and get out the way and get to safety. Or if you get hung up means that When you got bucked off, your hand still got stuck in the bull rope, and somebody has to come undo your hand to separate you from the bull.
Now, I'm going to ask a strange question, but I'm going to ask it. So, a lot of people, they like to go, they like to see, different things. They like to see the fast pace of the rodeo. Have you ever gotten hurt as a result?
Me personally?
Yes.
That's why I just do it.
yes.
Tell us why you don't do it anymore.
Because I got seriously hurt. Well, I rodeo for 25 years professionally.
Okay.
I rode way too long. I rode bulls for 15 years. Probably in year 13, I got seriously hurt. I got trampled by a bull, deflated the left lung,
Oh, wow.
lacerated my liver, and heart damage. I also broke my right leg twice.
So
But
what?
the adrenaline,
The adrenaline.
the
You have to be
adrenaline, the
adrenaline
speed,
junkie.
these
Have to
guys
be-
are crazy.
So is that what got you back up on the horse or back up on the bull again?
What
The
got me back
adrenaline?
up on the bull was I wasn't ready to quit yet. I wanted to quit under my own terms. It's a macho thing.
Crazy.
So
It's a
you say-
cowboy thing.
So it's a macho cowboy thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what so Nicole, what is the real draw that you find is, because I know there's a draw for the men, the macho part, but what's also the draw for the women? To
You
come
know
out?
what? A lot of times, the prize money. A lot of them do it for the prize money because we do have a significant purse, and ours is growing, especially in the African American rodeo circuit. And then also, a lot of times people just want to hear their name. They want the people cheering and laughing and calling them out. And a lot of the women that compete with us are ex-athletes. One of the girls played collegiate. Well, several of the girls have played collegiate basketball. And so they got their education on either collegiate basketball scholarships or they did something where, as a fundraiser, one of the girls, Kanisha Jackson, she actually rode while she was in school. And so one of the reasons her family, they do kind of their own little steer and decorating kind of little side rodeo because she did it as a fundraiser. So she was able to do it that way. Yeah.
And that's a pretty cool event for women too. Steer on decorating. It's very similar to the men's steer wrestling. What they do is they put a ribbon on the back of the steer, and it's set up just like the men's steer wrestling. 2 people, 2 horses, and a steer. And the woman has to reach over at the horse going full speed to pull the ribbon off the back of the steer's back and raise this ribbon up, and the time stops. Fastest time wins.
In a matter of seconds.
Usually, what's the fastest time that somebody does that in?
When you're good and you got a good team of horses and you got a good hazer, probably 3 seconds or less.
3
Be
seconds?
awesome, yeah.
As soon as you come out,
As soon as you
you're,
come
you're
out.
reaching for it. You're
reaching
trying to
for
go.
Well, so now, Keith, one other thing I want to ask you too is that now, what are some of the major? Now, you say you probably won some of the purses at some of the different rodeos,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
What's the most that a cowboy or what you've won in one of the competitions that you've been involved in?
Well, it depends on the association that you ride in. Right now, let's take a step back and tell you what the word cowboy means, and I'll give you a better idea
Okay.
how it's uneven. Okay? Back in the day, when there were black men herding cattle, they were called cowboys because a black man was not called a man back then. You were a boy and you herded cattle. They called the white guys wranglers or cow punchers. So basically that was a derogatory term in the very beginning. But as we showed our expertise in what we did, it became a badge of honor. So then the white boys wanted to be called cowboys as well. So, but then when they made it all professional, they had a lot of the bigger sponsors. So there's roughly like 3 different divisions. You have the NFR, the big one in Vegas.
You said the NFR?
Yeah, yeah.
What does that mean?
National Rodeo Finals.
Okay.
Okay, that's where everybody just in the black rodeo circuit aspires to get to, because it's the big dollar one. You can win $300,000 over there rodeoing for life. Then you got the next one, which would be the IFR, International Rodeos. Then you have the kind of like the black circuits and the other circuits like mid-state and some other ones, local circuits. So we've had some black cowboys go to the NFR finals.
Okay.
Very few.
Okay.
Very few, but you know, we're still trying to get a black female
We're
to
working on
qualify. We're working on it.
That could be your daughter then, right?
I'm talking to her.
But you know, we've had several bull riders. Matter of fact, Charlie Sampson was the first black man to win a world champion.
Okay.
But he was not the first black man to qualify. The first black man was Meredith Dykeman out
Okay.
of Texas.
So Keith is actually our history buff and will give us all of our information.
I can tell
and
that.
things like
We
yeah.
probably need to have a little bit more time to go into the history of the rodeo,
That's
the
his
cowboy, and that circuit. But we've got a few minutes left. Nicole, tell again. Now, this is the Midwest International Rodeo. Tell
Midwest
again about where it's located.
Invitational Rodeo, yes. It is the Midwest Invitational Rodeo, and it is at the Wayne County Fairgrounds on June 15th. We want
That's
to bring
this coming Saturday.
That's this coming Saturday.
Okay.
We'd like to do it. We'd like it for it to be an annual thing. Next year, we want to. Well, we actually started off calling it the Juneteenth Rodeo, because not very many of us, and if we had time, we'd have Keith explain that. But we're looking to do it every year, make it an annual rodeo. So it is at the Wayne County Fairground.
What time is it going to be?
It starts promptly at 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock in the
We
morning.
start at 7 p.m.
PM.
Oh, in the
7 p.m.
evening.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's only about 2.5 hours. It's a competition. So we try to cut it down to about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We don't want it to last all day because we lose your attention. The ticket prices are $17 in advance and 22 day of show. $17 is a little bit more than a movie ticket, but it's so well worth it.
So if somebody wanted to get an advance ticket, what do they do? How do they go
So
about getting
there is one place that you can get them at is Bishop Auto Wrecking in Inkster. We
it?
also
Bishop Wrecking?
Bishop Auto Wrecking,
Okay.
which is in Inkster.
Okay.
We also have Willis Feed, which is in Willis, Michigan. And then we also have Loving Life Health Food Store on 7 Mile in Detroit.
Greenfield.
7 Mile in Greenfield, yeah. And then also Eventbrite. We do have something set up on Eventbrite.
Okay. And now, what's that phone number again? If they
The
wanna
phone
make-
number, if they want to call us or contact us or get any information, because we still looking for vendors, we're still looking for sponsors, and we actually we're getting ready for next year as well. So the number that you can call us is area code 313-231-6775.
Well, I am so happy that I've had an opportunity to get a lesson.
I hope you
on
come out.
Cowboys,
Yeah.
cowgirls, wrangling. I mean, there was a lot of things that I did not know, so I'm very appreciative.
Keith, you think he might
Keith?
come out?
I hope
He should
he
come
does.
out.
Well,
and
I may be,
please,
like you said, from a distance.
in a rodeo shirt and maybe a hat
Maybe I'll put a hat on.
Yeah.
and some jeans.
And maybe some jeans and some cowboy boots. But
Yes,
as far as
no
getting on
spurs
one of
on your
those,
gym shoes,
oh, no,
Detroit.
no,
Yeah,
no,
no.
not from this young man.
Okay, great.
But I do want to thank you both for coming on the show.
Thanks for
Again,
having me.
this is Nicole Scott.
Yes.
And she's the coordinator, and this is Keith Morrell.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Correct.
And you have been listening to and looking at Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. And if you would like to advertise in the Detroit Native Sun newspaper, you can contact Valerie Lockhart. Her phone number is area code 313-457-5944. And you can pick up a copy of the Detroit Native Sun newspaper at your local Kroger supermarkets. I just want to say again, thank you to both of you for coming out. I know this is going to be a very successful event. I pray that no one gets hurt, and I pray that the competition will go and get a lot more people to want to come out for years to come. So again, thank you for my history lesson. We need to get more black people involved in this rodeo process.
That would be amazing.
So let's definitely make this happen. Again, thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again next week, same time, same station. Peace. Have a great afternoon.